Hunter Biden's facing a slew of legal issues: felony gun charges, tax evasion, likely a contempt of Congress charge for defying a federal subpoena. But according to a new report, the first son's biggest fear: Donald Trump getting reelected. Politico writing, quote, "Hunter Biden knows he is in the political crosshairs. In recent conversations with family friends, he is worried that he might have to flee the country if Trump were to be elected president again," according to two people who have spoken to him. He's also worried about the intense scrutiny that his family would face during the 2024 campaign. So Dagan, America's most sensitive victim, is now terrified of Donald Trump assuming the presidency, and scrutiny sounds like he has still yet again is unafraid of the consequences of his decisions.
Donkey dong. Not going anywhere. It's so ridiculous. His daddy would certainly pardon Hunter on the way out or early on the way out of the door. But with playing the victim, again, in the words of Livia Soprano, poor you. And the father also the victim as well. The man has been on and off an addict his entire adult life. And they're trying to blame President Trump as if somehow he has rained down all this attention on the president of the United States and his son. Again, the Biden family business, and it's Joe Biden is the business. But what they're trying to do is blame President Trump and all of Trump's followers. Well, President Trump didn't raise him. And President Trump is not the person who never said to his son, what's his Joe Biden's famous word? Don't. All of this business that he's in trouble for could have stopped day one when Joe Biden was the vice president, as Andy McCarthy pointed out, but it didn't, and we all know why.
Boom. Why is it so hard for him to take responsibility for his actions?
Yeah, great question. You know, I'm really interested in this reporting that's come out, because there were two reports this week about Biden and his thoughts on his son as it pertains to both 2020 and 2024. The reason I'm interested is because this is becoming somewhat of a narrative. Politico this morning, you referenced it, that according to those around him, Biden privately fears the upcoming campaign and potential criminal trial that have become an ever-present weight on the president. So he's thinking to himself, you know, this is all going to be playing out during next year. And this came after Axios 3 days ago said the 81-year-old president has suggested to close associates that if he had not run in 2020, Hunter would not be facing criminal prosecution. The reason I bring that up is because, one, the train has left the building. Look, the special counsel's out there. That's not going away. But if Biden did choose to step aside, the public scrutiny goes away. The impeachment inquiry might go away. Who knows? Because scrutiny would go to another Democrat. So I am interested. I've always said Biden's running. He's the nominee. He's going to run. But given some of this reporting, I'm starting to question how this factors into his decision.
Ooh, that's such a great point. And sort of dovetailing in with that, Jeremy, you know, I've interacted with so many Americans who have faced consequences for their actions in the form of incarceration or the criminal justice system. And to me, it's so emblematic of a weakness, of a spinelessness that he clearly inherited when he would flee rather than accept responsibility for these decisions and the marrying in politics that he seeks to continually blame a prior president rather than his own influence peddling, his decisions to peddle his last name, his decisions to gain millions, to reap millions at the behest of others.
And he wants us all to feel so bad for him. I mean, there's no coincidence that this, you know, just somehow leaked. I mean, he wants us to get out. You know, I'm so afraid that I'm gonna have to flee if we have a Republican president. But here's the thing. First off, you have someone who, to steal a term from the left, a very privileged kid who has never had to face up to responsibility and has never been held accountable. And so now when he's finally facing accountability, he wants us all to feel so bad for him that, you know, he's having to go through this. And I know that there's some impulse on folks, you know, like myself on the right who feel like, okay, if he's saying he's going to flee, let him go. Let's have him go to a different country. But honestly, I want to see him thrown in prison. I think that needs to be for our whole country, for you to talk about unity. If everyone wants to come together, he needs to be put in prison, held accountable, and show that the justice system, it does not have different rules depending on which party you hail from.
Which raises a great question for you, Nicole, as a former FBI special agent. Hunter says it's only in the last 6 years, it's only since Donald Trump have I been now subject to scrutiny, but the allegations of his illegal behavior go back actually many, many, many years. So do you think with maybe some semblance of law enforcement now holding him accountable or trying to, will that help restore Americans' faith in the FBI, in the DOJ, regardless of who is at the helm?
You know, Emily, the FBI and the DOJ have a very long way to go. I recognize clearly that Americans just really do not trust the Department of Justice, and rightfully so. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I left the FBI and the Department of Justice. Hunter Biden is accountable for Hunter Biden, and if he didn't do anything wrong, then he should have nothing to fear. I say this over and over. The truth shall set you free. So why is he afraid of President Trump coming in? If you did nothing wrong, you have nothing to hide. I don't think it's that he knows he's in trouble. I think that his father is probably closely linked to his business dealings and financial dealings as well. And it's time to be held accountable. There are whistleblowers coming forward that have put their careers on the line. I cannot tell you how important that is. If it was not for them, Americans would not know anything about this corruption. The whistleblowers are not going to stay quiet, and I think that they realize that. So whether, you know, President Trump is in office or somebody else, let's give some credit where it is due. These FBI special agents, IRS special agents, they deserve the credit. They have put their necks on the line to stand up for truth and for justice, and that is why it is not going to go away, regardless of who the president is. The DOJ, they want to keep you silent. I was there. You know, they want to keep you silent. You're in an atmosphere. Don't speak up. It's all quiet. Of course, there's certain things you're not going to discuss that are classified or confidential, but when there is corruption, whistleblowers must come forward, and they must be honored, and they must be celebrated.
So quick final question to you, Kaylee, on that. In light of your analysis that you gave a moment ago, and also what we've had reports of, which is essentially the White House being exasperated by Hunter's legal strategy, do you feel there's a strategy in place by Biden, by the Democrats, that might want to have your hypothesis put in place, essentially like, well, if we get him out of here, maybe all of this noise will go away, notwithstanding what Nicole just said, which is pressure will remain. But is that a factor, do you think, in decisions the Biden team makes?
I have no doubt that given, I mean, look, his poll numbers are almost in the 20s. We've talked about that. I have no doubt there are Democrats in Biden's ear saying, step aside. Public scrutiny will go away from your family. Enjoy the rest of your life. Let someone like Gavin Newsom step in, or Kamala Harris. I have no doubt that's happening, because you cannot look at these poll numbers and think this guy can pull this out of the bag at this moment in time. Things can change. The economy can turn around. Yes, but I wouldn't be betting on that horse being Joe Biden.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.